Amazon as a business can make you a truckload of money. And you'd think because of that, because of the volume of money that you can make, that their reporting and accounting would be very, very good to help us as business owners, successful, profitable business owners, really understand what fees, what charges, what's going on with our Amazon accounts. But you'd be wrong, because what we actually get from Amazon is terrible. It's absolutely useless. So how do you reconcile the report that Amazon gives you and turn it into usable data that you can use to grow your business and report your profits properly? In this video, I'm going to show you. Now, if you like this kind of content where I'm teaching you how to build your own business online, whether it's on Amazon or Etsy, Shopify or eBay, whatever it may be, make sure you give this video a like and be sure to subscribe to my channel. We post brand new content every single day, all about helping you make muchos cashola online. All right, let's get into it. So, lovely Kathy, what have you got for us today?
Okay, there's a lot of new people here today. So what we're doing is we're going to be looking at Xero files. But for the new people, I thought it was important to let you know a very simple way of knowing how your business has gone for the year. So if you enter into your Seller Central, click on your reports, head to your payments dashboard. Instead of seeing statement view, which we'll be looking at a lot tonight, go to date range reports, generate report, and do the date range of 1 July to 30 June and download. And that is your Excel spreadsheet with all your Amazon information, storage fees, subscription fees, every sale, referral fees, everything. So then you just need to add on all your other external stuff like your photography and you know, your memberships and stuff like that. So I thought it was really important to help new people out as well. So let's get on to the more advanced stuff. So I really want to have a big shout out to Daniela White because she popped this in the Facebook group and it's a really good source. There is the link, and so Neil will be uploading this later on, so you're all welcome to these slides. As I've said already, Excel spreadsheet's your friend, but if you're time poor, like myself, I like Xero. I have used MyOb and QuickBooks in the past, but yeah, it can save you a lot of time if you know what you're doing. Now, selling on Amazon is a real business and should be treated as one. And this demo has been based on Xero tonight. And the reason why is I did Google Trends, and guess what? Most people in Australia use or look at Xero. So that's why we've picked that. Okay, now we're in Seller Central and we head to reports. And this is your payments now. You should see something similar to this. This is a pretty advanced seller. Now, this is a 2-week settlement period. So this person is doing $17,000 a month on this product. So you have your sales here, any refunds, promos, and then your fees. I'll go into a bit more depth. Now, as we know, Amazon hold back a lot of our money, and it's called account reserve, and that is for any returns. So whilst this guy did nearly $9,000 in sales, Amazon are going to hand over $5,800, but they're going to hold nearly $5,000. I'll go into a bit more on that. So the payment dashboard, it displays settlement period for every 14 days. So you will have what's called a beginning balance, and that is what was held over the previous month. Now, don't worry if you don't have a lot of these. Like if you haven't had a refund yet, don't worry. but these letters will explain what each part means. So net proceeds, which was J, this is what gets deposited into your bank account in 2 weeks' time. Beginning balance was the reserve amount held over from the previous sales to cover any returns. L is your sales for your 14-day period. So it's rolling from the day you first sell or the day you first start. Refunds, they may not show if you haven't had any, so don't worry about that. It's probably a really good thing. Expenses are all your Amazon fees, including advertising, but it's not PPC. That's debited to a separate credit card. And reserve, which is O, this will be held over for the next 2-week period covering claims or chargebacks from the previous 2 weeks. So it's a bit hard to get your head around it, but once you understand it, it's quite easy. Okay, so L is sales, M is refunds, and N is all your Amazon fees. Now, how do you put this into Xero? Now, I'm using the sheet that Daniela popped in Facebook for us. So what happens is Amazon will send you your payment for 14 days. Now, how do you represent that? So normally you'll get a little box here that you click on OK. But in this case, we're going to add details. And here we go. So we have the beginning balance. So that was the funds held over from last time. All the sales and shipping and other, which totaled up to about the 9,000. Any refunds, rebates, your FBA fees, cost of advertising, Amazon fees, and then you're going to have your reserve again, which will be a negative figure because they're going to hang on to that. Now, I have a lady from Upwork that does a lot of this for me, and I'm just going to tell you a little trick. She, instead of doing beginning balance and end balance, she just subtracts one from the other. So I'll see how my accountant feels about that. And then you save it. Okay, an easy way to do this is when you go into that page, you can actually print it up and then you can cross it off here. And this was what I said. She subtracts the beginning balance from the account reserve, which in the end, it's the same thing. But this will, with all these transactions, this will equal what Amazon pay you, and that's how you reconcile it. Now, please note, this is in the US. In Australia, you are going to have GST. So you have 3 options for GST. What are they? Paid, not included. So some things don't have GST on them, such as food. What else is GST free? International postage is GST free. So it'll be included in BAS, not in BAS, or taxable. They're your 3 options. Okay, so please be mindful. Make sure your accounts are set up correctly. And if you're in Australia, make sure you have the correct GST option clicked. If you're a company, you're going to have 2 types of reporting. So here's sort of an example of the balance sheet of those transactions we did there. So, profit and loss. So a profit and loss tells you what your sales and expenses are. Your balance sheet tells you what your assets and what funds you've retained. So this one's if you had $2,500 worth of garlic presses purchased, it's not going to show in your profit and loss apart from sales, but you'll need a balance sheet. So you'll need to check both of these are all input correctly. Now, if you're a sole trader, you will still need to know what your assets are, because if you want to sell down the track, it may be important. So I hope I'm not going too fast or too confusing. But as I said, you will get these slides, and the Facebook page has the full document as well.
Yeah.
Okay, some tips. I am not an accountant or a bookkeeper, so please seek advice from your own professionals. Okay. Now, every Friday I update my Xero every week, but some people weekly, fortnightly. And as Tony Robbins says, what you focus on expands. So being ahead, really looking at your profit and loss and where you're at can concentrate on reducing expenses and things like that. So really important. This was a great book I read a couple of years ago called Profit First. Now, there's actually one written for e-commerce sellers now, and it's on Amazon Kindle by Cindy Thomason. Now, what she does, it's a bit like the old-fashioned get 5 jars and you put your money into your separate jars. But I've simplified it a little bit, and I just have set up a second bank account. So every time I get paid, I put 10% over to cover GST, and I also put 10% over for me, like my little wages. Now, and this will prevent, annual or quarterly shock when you get your GST bill. So pretty good idea to do. Now, Xero have training videos on their platform. You can outsource it. I always recommend you understand something before you outsource it, because you may get someone on Upwork that's just watched, a YouTube video and don't actually know what they're doing. And also, your accountant can be quite expensive. So there are some training videos in Xero. MyOb have their own, and also there's other platforms like Udemy and stuff like that. Now, as you progress and you've got your millions of SKUs like Neil, there is a plugin called A2X, and that will automate that process for you. Now, why is it so important to have all this done? Well, if you have the end in mind and you want to exit your business, if you provide excellent records, it will make your business more valuable, and that is so true. Here's a link for a GST guide for those of you selling in Australia, and I hope that was helpful.
That was a video from my regular Monday night open Q&A session that I do with the members of the Aussie online entrepreneurs. There's over 2,500 members and growing. We're the fastest growing community of e-commerce entrepreneurs here in Australia, with sales of over $50 million. If you'd like to find out more about what we do and how we can help you build your own e-commerce business, get yourself off to www.aussieonlineentrepreneurs.com.au. See you next time.